Survivor specialist Alexa and Robert are back. Robert is here for his first ever, possibly second ever.
Don't fact check us, please. unless we're correct. Unless we're right, then it's cool. But if we're
then
wrong,
you can fact check us.
Don't let us know.
Did you do predictions when Rick Devens and you podcasted together, or was that a recap?
I don't remember. I literally don't know.
Well, Robert is
regardless.
Robert is a guest. We are so excited to have him on. Contrary to what Phil said on Wednesday, he is not quitting this podcast. He will be back on Wednesday. We're going to be recapping
Phil
at 9 o'clock.
The drama. He just
wants to rant and let him have his space. And as you all know, I feel similarly to Phil about this season, but I'm really excited to talk to somebody who doesn't necessarily feel that way. Yeah. It's going to be really nice to have a new opinion here. So, Robert, what's your take on the season? What's going on? Long-term, short-term, everything.
Well, so I think I've only been here for like the last times that I've recapped the season so far have been good episodes. And so this is the first like episode this season that I've had to cover that people are like, have their pitchforks at. Out for.
Pitchforks are out and out.
Yeah, pitchforks are very out. I will say that I'm enjoying the season still. I still think that we're getting, not that like, I agree with the sentiment. Like, yeah, there's a lot of twists going on. Yeah, it's random. But I'm still enjoying, like, Nasir is so funny. Right?
He's so good. He is incredible.
Sydney, incredible. That the drama between Ricard and Shan, fantastic. Okay. I am still enjoying those seasons. I do think that the strategic decisions that are being presented, like, I think that I don't know if you guys had something different to say about Erica's decision. I think it's a very interesting choice. So
I think it's an easy choice. I would love to hear why.
We will get to that once we get to the power rankings part.
Okay. I'll let you pace this.
Yeah. So I think I'm still enjoying it. I understand why people aren't. I wish that it would. I agree that maybe Jeff's like throwing his hand in a little too much into the pot. But I think overall I think it's fine. So
I think that's good. I mean, I cannot like quite say that I would rather watch like Thailand over this. But yeah, I agree with you. Like in the sense of like to me, like Nasir and Shannon Ricard, like on my end are like saving this season. Like I think there are some really, really cool interactions and some really great relationships. Like Shannon Ricard, I feel like we've never really seen that much give and take in a duo before. We really see like a lot of agreement, or one is number one and one is number two. They are both very like
they're each other's number ones, and they, instead of like a Ghost Island where like Wendell and Dom are like, I gotta turn on him eventually, it's like they're actively like thinking like, I don't trust this person even though that we have all each other's information.
Yeah, and that's really cool. And they bicker like siblings, and they're both right and they're both wrong, and she's paranoid and he can be a little haughty. So it's like a really, really, really cool dynamic with them. And I hope they get to reunite, because right now they're on opposite sides. I mean, they can all still vote together, but they're on opposite sides of like safety versus not being safe. And I think Nasir is just one of the best characters we've had I guess we're past like the 30s, but in modern Survivor, I really think he's one of the best. Like his story is incredible. Him having an idol and like how he finds the idol is incredible. He's so TV gold.
It's like he's just experiencing all of Survivor for the first time ever. Like he's just like, oh my God, I found an idol. This is crazy. But he like didn't know what an immunity idol was before getting on the island. It's
right.
Like,
and
so
when
cool.
He gets the merge buff, which spoiler to nobody, it gets stripped from him. Like he's like, hey, he's like, look at this. Like I finally got the merge buff. Like to your point, he has this like,
it's like we merged. That's crazy. That's so cool.
He's like, I don't know how old he is. He's like 30 or 40 or whatever. And he has this like childlike innocence about him.
Yeah, it's so cool.
So good. He's also like I didn't notice this until he was standing next to Erica, who also I think is like fairly short, but he's very tall and he's also pretty built.
Yeah.
Being on the tribe with Deshawn, I think doesn't help anything. Or like Deshawn and Danny, like doesn't help anything for him seeming muscular, but he's a built dude, and he's obviously.
He carried that one challenge by himself.
Yes, but literally by
insane.
himself.
Yeah, literally by himself.
Yeah,
so.
That was awesome. So I'm like trying to appreciate that, and as I, obviously I want more of that. I want more of the players. I am at least happy that their personalities are shining through all of the muck that I am considering.
So I'm gonna go. I know this.
Robert has something.
The predictions power rankings.
Robert comes on this podcast and wants to give an opinion on something.
Hot take. I'm gonna get on my little soapbox for a second. Okay. I think that Survivor is a game about relationships and social dynamics, and I think that's what makes the show great. I also think that if the show had been season 1, for as long as it has been, the show would have died out 10 years ago.
Oh yeah.
And the what makes it, because if we are seeing this, and again, I know you guys don't watch Big Brother. If the game stays similar for too long, eventually people will solve it. They'll figure out how to play it, and then we'll watch. Like I think Wendell deserved the win on Ghost Island, but like people think it was boring, and that's what would happen if we don't have the game change every season or every 2 seasons. And so it's a different game than it was last season. But if we don't have that kind of progress, then we're not going to watch any more Survivor. And yeah, it's different. But like, you know what they didn't have in season 1? They didn't have the secret scenes. I think Survivor and CBS are like, hey, I know that we need more character stuff. Here are the secret scenes. And I think that we should be focusing on those more. I mean, they're not canon within the 60 minutes that CBS gives us every week. But like, there is story that they're trying to give us.
I agree with the secret scene thing, because it bothers me when people say like Heather is obviously a bad confessional giver and that's why she's getting no confessionals. If anybody's watched one secret scene, Heather is like absolutely hilarious in her like gaslighting me with this fake dream. So I don't want to hear that Heather's a bad confessionalist, because we have no evidence of that. We have evidence actually of the opposite.
And if CBS needs to make the game more strategically interesting so that it lasts the test of time like it has, they can't do the Amanda Kimmel thing where it's like, oh, she randomly has an idol. Because if we don't see the strategy, then nothing else makes sense. And so sometimes that means that the fun stuff and the character moments get pushed to the secret scenes. And so I'm not saying that, it is necessarily the best Survivor that we've ever had. Obviously there are a lot of like random things that just get thrown upon people, but it was going to be luck anyways, right? Like what if Rudy in season 1 wasn't tolerant of being around Richard Hatch? That's a different season. That is completely luck based for Richard Hatch. Okay. So like, yeah, it's luck, but it's always been luck. Like, yeah, it's changing, but it needs to change. Like, I'm not saying that the community has invalid opinions, because I don't want people to think like your opinion is wrong, because you know what?
People have bad opinions.
I'm trying to be nice.
You're good.
I think that if people are not enjoying the season, I don't know how to phrase this, but like I feel bad for people, because I wish that they could also enjoy Survivor the way that we all have in the past. I just hope that, maybe, I don't know, maybe this is the only way that we can have Survivor, and I'm just enjoying and I'm along for the ride. So soapbox over.
It's like the pizza thing. It's like, I must eat pizza, so I'll eat like room temperature pizza.
Yeah. It's like sometimes I feel like we're at the point where it's either room temperature pizza or it's no pizza.
Or no.
And I'm just happy to have pizza.
Yeah. So you have me if Jeff tells the players. Edge of Extinction, like, hate the idea, but fine, try it. Like, give it a shot.
Sure.
And then walk away if it's bad, which it sounds like everyone we really had to fight for that. Where I struggle is if I were to go out on season 43 and play Survivor, I like don't know how to prepare anymore. I don't know. And I get that like it's like good from a TV perspective to have like surprises, and it's good to surprise the cast, but I don't think there are rules anymore. And so I think that like that leads to a lot of sloppiness. So if Jeff is dead honest about what this merge situation was, then then they would have been a lot more strategic about who they send. Maybe I actually think it would have been, I saw this on Reddit, I think it would have been cool if you have Ricard and Shan handpick their tribes. And then those two people who do get potentially sent to Exile Island, you have to be really strategic about that. You have to be smart about who you're sending, because then they might reverse you. If the players are playing in an educated manner, we're going to get really intellectual gameplay or sloppy gameplay, but at least it's informed.
Sure. So you are okay with twists, but as long as Jeff tells the people like at the beginning of the season, and that's just like, oh, they came back. Sorry. Haha.
Yeah. Or, I mean, this merge thing, like maybe like not it, that maybe didn't even have to happen at the beginning of the season. Like maybe when he like walks them in and like when he was talking to us, I can like, I might still hate the twist. Like I don't like the idle nullifier, even if Jeff tells them what an idle nullifier is. But the players are making uninformed decisions. Right. Yeah, so at least if they know, then I can trust the gameplay then. Like I don't know what the hell anyone's doing right now.
Yeah, I also agree that the merge twist sucks.
Yeah, that's like an especially problematic thing that's going on.
Right. But I also think that like in order for the game to move forward, and again, this is like I'm not arguing the informed uninformed thing. I think that that's a very good point. I think that CBS needs to experiment with bad twists in order to find good twists.
Yeah,
so, this one sucks. Medallion of Power also sucked a lot.
I love that that's everyone's punching back.
I mean, yeah, because everyone agrees it sucks.
It's like that one is like stupid and unnecessary. Like, I love that people just trash that one.
If there's any Medallion of Power lovers in chat, let me know and I'll stop making fun of you specifically.
Yeah, we'll buy you a buff because you need help.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm down for bad twists as long as they don't stay. But if they come once and then they leave, like whatever.
Yeah, look, experiment, like be okay with people not being okay with them. Because I think there's a lot of great twists. Like one thing that I've always wanted back, I don't even know if you can call this a twist, but like in reward challenges or even immunity challenges, like have the winning tribe sit in on tribal council and watch people. That's a great way to create relationships. I understand the point of like Journey Island, but I hate that it results in an advantage every time. Why don't you still find a way for people to interact with each other and for people to get like interest and insight into tribal dynamics without being like, here's a Liana advantage.
They should just do more summits. They should just be like, hey, go hang out with someone else.
I love a summit because I love that they did not, I assume they did this because of COVID, but I love that they did not do tribe swaps. And I loved the idea of Summit Mountain because that was how you created
having it with that. I liked it that they didn't do a tribe swap. That's really cool.
I think it's great. Like everyone loves seeing one tribe get totally slaughtered.
Right.
There's something
whatever,
great. But yeah, I think but yeah, I'm with you. Like give it a shot. I think where I struggle is like I know Jeff is going to do this exact same thing like in 42 and like I feel like he's just going to spite us, but maybe I'm getting a little ahead of myself on that.
I mean, that is something that I agree with, but we have to wait and see until what happens in 42.
That's very true. But do you know we could talk about this? Well, it was in the present, but is in the past. The reason that Robert is probably in such a good mood is because he was blessed with the opportunity to physically embrace.
Why are you guys? Everyone in the comments is like, "Bro, Robert met Suri," and it's like, "Yeah, I did." But this isn't the Robert met Suri podcast.
That is exactly what this is. Robert, tell us everything about Wednesday night.
Yeah, so I went to Bryce and Wynn present DC on Wednesday night. It was fantastic. Jatia was there, Suri was there, Wendell and Bryce were there, Brendan Shapiro was there. And Ovi from Big Brother 21 was there, which was really cool. I got to meet Will. I think Will, if that's you in chat. I got to meet my first fan, which is dope. I don't know his last name, but maybe that's him.
Oh yeah, you said you got recognized. How did that?
Yeah, it was incredible. It's
very weird, right?
It's very strange. But in a cool way for anyone else that wants to come up to me ever in anything. It was sick.
It's always funny. This has only happened to me a couple times too, but I went to Bryce and Wynn present New York, and there's also a Philadelphia one that I'm going to try to adjust my schedule so that Robert and I can meet in the middle. But it's always fascinating to get it's like amazing to get recognized because it's really cool. And also you can still go about your night and not be like, I'm sure Sari didn't leave her 30-foot circle because everyone was probably on top of her the entire time. What's cool about it, like, whatever. But then if like one person in a friend group recognizes you and the others don't, there's always this awkward moment of they're like, ooh, should I try to like take a picture with Alexa?
Right.
It's really funny, but it's a very cool feeling. I'm glad you got
no, it's also really funny. And I'm sure Will, who I met, is gonna like, I don't know if you noticed this, but like they were like, oh my God, Robert, like, are you Robert from Survivor Specials? And I'm like, oh my God, yeah, I've never been recognized before. And then we like had the whole conversation, and then at the end I was trying to make sure that I got his name correct, right? And he's like, my name's Will, and I'm like, all right, yeah, my name's Robert, and I like reminded him of my name, and I'm like, why did I do that? Like they literally met me or watched me on this podcast. Of course they know my name. Why did I remind them? So
I know, because you don't want to be like, oh well, of course you know who I am. Like you want to be like, oh,
yeah, well, because I'm not used to that, right? I've never experienced like any minutia of fame before.
Yes. So how was Sari?
Sari was fantastic. I just happened to be standing near where she ended up sitting down, so I got to sneak in a photo in one of the commercials. I got to meet Jared, her son, which was great.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, and then took a very fast picture because there was a lot of people that wanted to take pictures, and I was like, I got to do something cheesy, and I gave her a big old hug.
I love the hug. That's adorable.
Yeah, I mean, you got to make it special when you meet one of the queens. So
yes,
I definitely took my opportunity.
That's amazing. Yeah, I know someone, Laura in the chat, is saying we're excited about Robert meeting Sari because we were mixed about the last episode. The only night, like, for anyone who listened to us on Wednesday, I deeply apologize because it just wasn't our best work. But at one point, we were just like, well, at least Robert met Sari. Like, at least that happened. And also another thing that I did not comment on because I actually missed it until I went on Twitter the next day. The puzzle game within a game was an Angelina deep cut,
really
which is
funny. Yeah.
Amazing. Bothers me because it means that Survivor is clearly trolling on Twitter and knows how we feel. And the only thing they will listen to is Natalie, can I have your jacket? But I thought it was hilarious. I'm shocked that they did that.
In the hectic nature of the bar, did not see the game within the game until like 2 days later.
Very quick too. Like even they just show it and really move on fast.
Which is because when I'm watching at home, I'm like, oh, here it is, the game within the game. And then like if I'm not paying it complete attention, like somehow I'll miss it.
You'll miss it because they don't say anything. It's always just like leading into a challenge.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Anyways, Alexa. It's been like 18 minutes and we haven't talked about power rankings.
Oh my God. Shall we get to them? I was about to make that.
We should get to them. Yes, we should get to that. To what the people want, I think. Unless they want us to just rant like aimlessly. But
I think this is better than other aimless ranting.
That is true. So, but we do have an objective that was set out for us.
We do. So with that, this is a structured question that leads into the power rankings. Mm-hmm. My power rankings are completely dependent on the assumption that I think Erica, the choice that I think Erica is going to make. What choice do you think Erica is going to make, and what are the costs and benefits?
So I don't know what choice Erica is going to make.
Okay.
Basically, I don't think it's set in stone. It's like, oh, do you want immunity or not? But if you strip 6 people of their immunity, I don't think that you can ever recover those relationships at all. Mm-hmm. And if you smash it, you are safe for one tribal council, but burning those 6 bridges, like, I don't know how you win. If you are playing to win, I don't know if you smash that. And like, I'm assuming that in the next episode, Jeff is like, Erica had a decision to make. And then he explains everything to the other contestants. Mm-hmm. But it is so much easier to defend, like, I am maintaining the sanctity of the immunity challenge to the other 6 people who you are not giving immunity to. And also, even if you do give immunity to those 6 people and you're trying to build a relationship to them, like that, I don't think that has weight in Survivor. I think that's thanks, Erica. Like, you're so great. And then it's like, you get by like 1 extra vote. But like, I think that is easily forgettable and betrayable, 2 or 3 votes down the line. So I don't think this is an easy vote. I know Erica's not necessarily in a good spot because people have been trying to throw challenges to get her out. But I don't think that I still think that you're in a spot where you don't want to burn any more bridges.
Yeah, so. I think it's sort of like, what was I going to say? I think if you take away the immunity aspect of it, and it's just like, Erica, you either keep things the same or you turn back time. She's in a lose-lose there because she got sent there, which clearly she got sent there and they almost threw a challenge for her. She obviously doesn't know that. But she has a confessional saying, she's like, my first 12 days on Survivor did not go how I expected them to go. I take that as like, she seems like a very smart player. I think she's a massive fan of the show. She probably knows she doesn't have an easy path to win right now.
Right.
Not that she's like, I can't imagine she's playing like, I'm just going to blow this up because even if I thought I wouldn't win, I would still play to win. I think because she like knew that she was going to be sent to the island, that makes me think like she can't believe that they're going to defend her. And I think you're right. Like we see this with Kelly and Dean, where sure, she'll give them immunity and they owe her for like a minute. Like nobody really believes in owing each other anything anymore, which is fine. So I think like doing nice things for people on Survivor really doesn't carry the weight that it used to.
Like I think it matters if you are in a duo and then you want that back and forth of the duo to be maintained the entire time. But like if you're helping 6 people at one time, like they don't owe you anything past like the next vote.
Exactly. Yeah. And she, she doesn't really know anyone on that side. There's Heather is on that side. And is Heather Heather's the only other Luvu who like if she turns back time that she would be with. And we have no idea like what kind of relationship they have.
Right.
Because she's given immunity if she makes one choice. To me, that's the reason why she's going to choose that, because then like she already got sent there. They already basically like in her head voted her out. So I have to imagine she's like, I'm going to switch this. I'm going to make 5 new friends. It's the matter of like, do they actually become allies or not? I don't necessarily think so. I really think regardless, she either lasts a long time and doesn't have any like power, or she's voted out like 10th.
Sure. I mean, she's not in a great spot, right? Like
it'd be interesting if this is like Nasir. Well, also, I don't even think Nasir has many allies either.
Yeah. I mean, well, again, for Erica, it's like, these 6 people aren't like necessarily your friends, but like the only drama that has happened on Luvu has been completely social. There's been no like strategic decisions that have been made that like are reasons to get somebody out. And so if I'm like, I want to get Erica out because of just something that like, we need a target or something. And then like the merge happens and suddenly my target gets redirected. That is a lot weaker of a case than, we need to like, we're in this nebulous, haven't been a tribal thing yet. And we need to target. Oh, now Erica's stolen my immunity. Now I actually need to get her out.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Cause she's been, like when they almost threw the challenge for her, it was like, I don't trust her. Like it wasn't anything like super concrete. This is like a decision that I can't imagine like for the people she doesn't like, if she doesn't smash the thing, then the 5 people who are already unsafe, like they're just going to be like, sucked. Like,
and you know what? Also, Erica can also just still play for immunity, right? Like, it's not like she's completely dead in the water.
Good point. That's a very good point.
I don't know. I'm not saying that not smashing the urn is the right choice. I'm saying it's like a close decision, and like it's not immediately smash the what is it called? The hour. She doesn't smash the hourglass as soon as Jeff gives it to her. Like it's definitely a hard choice. So
yeah. Also, I don't think I've ever smashed an hourglass. I have turned an hourglass, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, but if you've never smashed an hourglass, I don't think I've turned an hourglass. No, I've turned an hourglass. But
like, I don't know, Monopoly or something.
What if you accidentally smash the hourglass? Like, what if you're just like tossing the hammer in the air and then it like falls?
That's like how bored she is. She's just like flinging this thing like up.
And then she's like, oh, I smashed the hourglass. Oops, right? Like,
I will say one of the very few good things that have come out of this, in my mind, game-breaking twist. The memes have just been off the charts.
They've been good memes.
Erica, I really hope she's enjoying the fact that like people are putting her face on like the Borneo cast and like all
very good,
very funny.
Also, all the Nasir memes are dope. I know that doesn't have to relate to anything with Erica, but like, oh wow, they're good.
He is just the best. John Millsap, I didn't mean Monopoly. I meant some other board game that's not coming to me. So with that, Robert, I don't know. I power ranked like the people who I think Eric is flip. I think Eric is smashing it. So my power rankings are pretty clear. I'll explain within them. How do you have yours broken out, and would you like to lead?
No, I don't want to lead. I have the very safe. I have the kind of whatever people, and then I have like the people that are in a lot of trouble.
Okay, so I'm gonna start. So I think Erica smashes the hourglass, which means that she is safe along with 5 other people. I think the safest within the safe is Heather. I think Heather has a little bit of edit armor, but also Heather is not the kind of person who you vote out at the merge. Heather has seemed pretty inoffensive. She has seemed really seems like a loyal ally. We saw in that, that moment after that challenge where she performed pretty poorly and her tribe came up to her and immediately supported her. And apart from like a Sydney confessional where she was like, that was a little annoying, Danny and Deshawn were like on her. So I take that as somebody who is a valued member of an alliance. I don't really know much about her past that, which is pretty shitty, but I think Heather is very, very safe. Honestly, regardless of whether or not Erica smashes the hourglass.
Yeah, that's a really good point. The edit armor, I think, is actually one of the biggest points. Unless she magically gets like 10 confessionals next episode and then it's over. But like she's in a good spot regardless of that too. I'll say that like one of my top people is Danny. I think Danny's good.
Danny is good. I really like Danny.
Because like even if Erica smashes the hourglass, he probably can just win immunity anyways, right?
Yeah, that's
he's huge. Also, he's like socially in a good spot. He has Deshawn, he has Liana and Shan, he has Nasir. Like I think he's covered. So I think he's doing fine. Also up there with Danny is Deshawn. So
Deshawn, your number 2.
Deshawn is my number 2.
Yeah, I've always had them like one or another, like right after each other.
Right now, they are good. In my book. So.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of times whenever we see like a big muscular player, we're like, oh well, maybe they won't do well in individual immunities because they're so big and muscular. But he's also like lean at the same time, so I feel like he could have like the type of balance like skills that are needed to do well in it.
Right. I mean, football isn't just like running into each other. There's like a lot of other like athleticism that I don't even think I fully understand. But it's like, these people like they are monsters of people. Yeah.
I don't know what position he played. I should look that up.
Here, I'll look it up while you talk about your next thing.
Thank you. Okay, so my number 2 safest is Liana. I think like one thing that is kind of understated is that Shan just like totally blew up Liana's knowledge is power advantage. And that's an advantage that really works when people don't know about it. So luckily, I don't think any of the people who have advantages that Liana knows about are aware of her advantage. Like Xander doesn't seem to quite know this yet. So Liana is still in a good position. I don't think Liana is going home yet. I think like Liana's in a kind of a compromised position with her knowledge is power, losing a bit of power due to everyone else having knowledge, dare I say. But Shan really, really trusts her. I think Shan just had a boob moment. Tiffany called her out, but like, and then had a confession where she's like, I don't totally trust Liana after this. Like, I can't fully buy in. But she didn't say like, Liana's got to go because of this. I think Tiff does understand that, like, you know what, some people are just going to lie about some things. So I think Liana is still really safe. I also think Liana is excellent in challenges. And I think she would hold her own in an immunity challenge if she were to participate in one this week.
I have Liana not that high.
Okay. Well, we can get to her then.
Yeah, we will get to her.
In the NFL.
What? Oh, he was special teams.
Ooh, okay.
He did free safety, which I don't know what means at all because I don't watch football.
Free safety is like if someone's punting, like he's the one just like really, really, really in the back, like surveying and like to get anybody if they break out of the huddle.
Thank you.
Yes, sports.
Football facts. Yeah.
Got football.
Yeah, cool.
All right. Who's your number 3, Robert?
Number 3, I'm gonna put Chantel. I think that like she still has a lot of shit, right? Like she got the thing back from Ricard. Yeah, they're feuding, but I'm still gonna believe in the intentional Matt Singh or even the unintentional Matt Singh. I'm sure people think that they're weak. Yeah, like they're feuding, but like I'm sure at some base level, even though they're arguing, it's like we are still ride or dies. Like we'll figure out this drama at some point. So I think she's fine. Again, she has a lot of allies. So yeah, I think she's good.
The concept of an intentional Mad Sing does not quite connect with me. I know like Evie had like alluded to wanting to do that. I know Voce said that in one of his exit interviews. Is the purpose of an intentional Mad Sing to end up like Shannon Ricard, where you are sort of wanted because there are fewer of you?
It's not wanted. It's that other teams perceive you guys as like, oh, these people are weak and they don't have relationships. They are not a threat.
Yeah.
So we can. There is no risk to incorporate them into our group, and then we can use this new number to get out someone else on my team that I've wanted to get out.
Yeah, I got that. I also have Shannon at number 3, actually, because I think
nice.
Yeah, because she has an idol, which I can't remember if Liana knows about it or not. I think Liana actually doesn't know.
I think she does. I think she told Liana on their little journey.
Okay. So in that case, like that is also a pretty ballsy thing to do because Liana now has an advantage that can directly take that from you.
Right.
And also I bet Shan's not passing anything else to Ricard anytime soon.
Right.
So she's got to hold on to that thing. With that, I think Shan is getting a little sloppy, but I think at the moment there are like quote unquote bigger fish to fry. There's an entire tribe of Luvus. This the Yase tribe is just like completely turning on each other. And so I think this is where Shan being like the intentional Max Singh person, like she's just like needed. Like you can use Shan as a vote because Shan doesn't have her own alliance. So I think she's good. I don't think I'm going to have her this high for much longer.
We'll see. We'll see how everything turns out. Like, I mean, I think that like Shan is still at the point where like I think Danny and Deshawn are like good. I think Shan does have some risk still. Like she could still get blindsided. So.
Yeah, totally. Who's number 4 for you?
Number 4, I have Ricard for basically the same reasons. He doesn't have any of the power that Shan does, but like again, in a weak spot, or it perceived to be in a weak spot. But we've seen that he is socially and strategically capable enough to work his way around the tribal council and run around someone if he needs to. So I think he's fine. I think I mean again, like we haven't really seen a lot of the dynamics from like the old Luvu people. But I think there is something to be said about like that last tribal council that he was at, where it's like, yeah, we've had experience at tribal council, no one else has, and I think that is valuable.
There's a lot,
even if other people have other advantages and idols.
So. Yeah, and I think it might have been Sydney who said this like before, like at the beginning of the episode last week, because she was like, we're really splintered and like none of our alliances mean anything because we've never tested them before.
Right.
I actually have Xander at number 4, and it's because a lot of it is because I think Erica is smashing the thing, but
sure.
I don't think like Xander has this little Nasir thing going on, even though it was only 1 second. I think like because their idols are so public, they have to stick with each other. So I think he automatically has somebody there. And he also could win a challenge. He's been really, really good in challenges, really kind of like carrying that tribe on his back. But I don't think he's been caught in some lies, but I think like Tiffany is more polarizing of the Yases than Xander. And I think people think that maybe they can just use him. So I don't think he's safe for long, but I think I
think Xander's in a really bad spot.
I think he's in a terrible spot, but I also
But then why is he number 4?
Because he's going to be saved by this thing.
That is a very good point.
But I believe that that's happening.
Yeah, I actually, well, part of my thing is that like I can't make this whole argument for Erica not smashing the thing and then just be like, oh, she smashes the thing, right? So I'm standing my ground.
You do whatever you want. I could never.
I want to have an airtight argument that no one can poke holes in ever for any reason. So I need to do this.
Awesome. Well, maybe don't look at CBS's press photos this coming week.
I don't even know what CBS is, so I'm good.
Honestly, same. Yeah. Okay, number 5 for Robert.
Number 5 is Nasir. Let's go.
I love him. Why do you think he's safe? Do you think he would play Untitled this early?
Because everybody loves him. No one. He's not
do
like
the players love him, or do we love him?
Well, so we did see a moment between Nasir and Danny, after one of the challenges where they won and they did like a little fist bump thing. So it's like we aren't like directly getting like, yeah, Nasir is great, but like he has an idol that no one wants to steal. And he was like chosen over Erica for the thing. So I think, I mean, and also he is a physical threat and can win a challenge. So
totally. I think there's also something to be said about, I don't think it's a guys alliance, but I think Danny, especially, the guys are nervous about a girls alliance.
It's a counter girls alliance. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, I was about to say it's an anti-girls alliance, but that's really not.
That's really bad. Yeah.
Totally not what I was going for. I think Danny actually made a big boob move by saying that, because Evie was there, and Evie's been doing a lot of voting out because her tribe got her tribe lost some people. So I don't think that was great. And I don't think he directly told Nasir. I think he told this to the viewers, but he was like, we kind of picked Nasir because we wanted to weaken a girl. So I think that also helps Nasir. And I don't mean that helps. Yeah. I think it's just
that's the game sometimes,
Exactly.
Yeah.
My number 5 is Tiffany. I'm pretty much power ranking 2 different tribes right now, because I think Tiffany is in the worst position of the people.
She's in a good spot. Yeah.
Yeah, of the people who are currently not safe. I think what's cool about Tiffany, I also thought she and Sydney were going to hate each other, and we saw them kind of chatting briefly. So I think what's really cool about Tiffany is she does have a very strong personality. She's so New York, which I really like about her.
Yeah.
But a lot of people can be off put by that. And we've seen some confessionals where people are like, I don't trust Tiffany, or like Tiffany's, can be a bit much. That being said, I don't really think she's necessarily powerful enough to be the person to get rid of at the merge. So I think she's okay for now, but I also don't know what major defenders she has, which does make it a little for her.
Yeah, I mean we are now in the people that I'm rating past this are in a nebulous group of I don't know. So
nebulous group of I don't know. I love that.
I mean my next 4 are kind of interchangeable. It's not there's no clear distinction between any of these people. It's just kind of there's some good, some bad, but whatever. So
yeah. Okay.
My number 6, I guess I was thinking about reordering them, but I literally just said it doesn't matter. Number 6 is Sydney. Good in challenges. We've seen her have some conflict with some people, but we also haven't it's almost just been oh, I kind of don't like this thing Sydney does, but it's not oh, I actually hate Sydney the way that some people did after her preseason stuff. So
yeah, I think a lot of fans don't like Sydney because they look at her social media.
Yeah. But whatever, it's different.
Exactly.
It's different from being on the island than interacting with people on Twitter. So
I think she's been more I'll use the word obnoxious, to us than to the players.
Yeah. I fully agree with that. I think she's fine. I don't see any again, it's I don't know. She's probably cool, could get voted out, whatever.
I think Sydney is in huge trouble, but I will get to that at a later date.
That's why we like the disagreements.
This is good. I like this. You should come on more often.
I'm down.
Yeah, we'll talk. Number 6, aptly right in the middle, I have Erica, the time traveler. And this is strictly because she either will do this or she will not. And I'm pretty sure she is going to do it. But So I still think she's like going to be immune, but let's say she doesn't do it. Let's say she's not immune. She could have the benefit of being the uninvolved person where it's like, oh my God, she did like Erica has no ties. Let's just use her vote.
Right.
Or Erica's been away for two days. This will be easy. Let's just get rid of her.
Right.
So that is why
Erica. That makes sense. You did explain. You explained everything as you needed to. I was expecting that exactly. So
thank you so much. I'm very predictable.
Okay.
Who's in your nebulous pool of 7?
Tiffany, for the same reasons you did. Like, she is making like a lot of like anxious decisions, but it's not like threatening. It's just kind of like, oh, something happens, and Tiffany like reacts to the viewers with cool facial expressions, and then it's like, oh, she doesn't like these people, but like it's not like, I don't think she's really on anyone's radar yet, besides stirring things up.
He has great reactions to everything.
Oh yeah, and doing it in front of the camera while Xander's right there, like, oh, that's good.
Oh yeah, I like that. And I love when Xander is explaining his idol to her, and she was like, "Can you do that again? Like, can you explain that again?" Like, she totally didn't get it.
It's so funny. Yeah,
so good.
Who's your 7?
My number 7. So now this is only going to include the group who originally won immunity, some sort of power ranking within there. I have Ricard as my number 7, kind of for similar reasons that I have Shan really high. I think Ricard knows that he has no allies here. He's never been to Summit Island. He really only has Shan as an ally, and Shan's like kind of in a different boat than him.
Yeah.
So I think he's in a really great position where he's like, he's very charismatic, and I think he's really easy to talk to. So I think he'll be able to kind of like
the best of the people that will not be immune.
Exactly. Like he's the best person, the safest person who's not immune. Yeah. I don't see why, like, I can't imagine that whole group getting together and being like, let's get rid of Ricard. I think Ricard is going to be one of the reasons for why somebody else goes home.
Yeah, that makes sense. I agree with that. My number 8 is Evie.
Okay.
It's still in the nebulous pool. We did see like that whole kerfuffle with Yasei of just like people like not trusting each other and then like betraying each other's information, but I still think that she's in a good spot. Like we've seen her
kerfuffle.
Yeah, we've seen her in I think earlier on with when Yasei did go to tribal council, like we saw her like really take control and like have everyone on her side. So like obviously she can play. Obviously she knows what she's doing. But not exactly, not like, I don't know if she's as physically capable as Danny. I'm down to be surprised. But like, I think she's like fine, in a fine spot right now. So
yeah, I actually am really impressed with how Evie's playing. I think early on, I thought they were going to get like maybe a little power hungry and really liked being on top. But I think Evie does an amazing job of like being unseen and being like the most normal person in the room, in the sense of like, nothing to see here. Like, I'm cool.
Yeah, she's very good at that.
Really, and that is a like very important and like difficult quality to have.
Right.
Yeah.
But very good skill. So
yeah. My number 8 is Deshawn. I think Deshawn has an extra vote, which I candidly forgot about.
I also forgot about that.
Yes, because it happened really early. And he hasn't gotten like a ton of screen time. Also, there is a budding alliance that Deshawn is a part of. So right. Deshawn has like a Luvu alliance, which like isn't really real by my understanding. And also this new alliance with Danny, Liana, and Shan. Right. So Deshawn has like a few different moves here, and has, not that extra votes have been like particularly consequential, something else in his back pocket. So I think with all of that combined, Deshawn's in a really good spot. Also could win a challenge.
Yeah, could easily win a challenge. Going off your metrics, like, he's second best of that unimmune tribe. So yeah, no complaints there.
Thank you. I will wait for your complaints.
Yeah, complaints are coming later. Who's your number 9?
Number 9, I have Danny, of course, because Danny and Deshawn cannot be in the same power rankings if they are not directly next to each other.
Right.
Danny could succumb to big strong man must leave at merge. He also did verbalize fear of a woman's alliance, which usually isn't great. Even if there isn't a woman's alliance, it could create one. But Danny is also a part
of counter women's alliance. Oh,
correct. Yes, the counter women's alliance.
Yeah,
which is not the men's alliance. I want to be extremely.
No, but if the counter women's alliance causes the women's alliance, then that women's alliance is the counter women's alliance.
Bruh, it sure is.
Yeah.
I like that. I want that to happen just because I want people to have to say that.
Like we created something that like is just way too long to say, but it's like part of the Survivor meta now. That would be funny.
Yeah, it's like creating something that you're accidentally creating something that you're afraid of because you're afraid of it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So what we're doing, creating the counter women's alliance, we're creating something we're afraid of. I'm taking this too deep. We're backing out. We're backing out.
This is very deep. Okay, number 9.
Number 9. Number 9, I have Heather. I know she's your number 1.
Yeah, but she also
this is the nebulous spot. Remember, this is the last of my nebulous, like they're probably fine group, but also like I don't know.
She is the least safe of the nebulous group.
No, in my mind, they're all just like equal. It's not like I'm only putting them between 6th and 9th positions because I have to by virtue of it being a power ranking. I should have done it alphabetically. That would have made people think that.
Ooh, that would have been fun, especially if people just noticed that.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. It was just random. But yeah, like I like the edit armor that she has, unless again she gets 10 confessionals randomly in an episode. I don't know, like she's fine. Like it would just be like a JP getting voted out in 35, where it's like it happened, whatever. So,
yeah, which could happen.
Yeah, I don't know. I want more from her, but we'll see.
I do too. All right, we're in our bottom 3, so these are all people who we think have a good chance of going home.
Right.
You feel that way too?
Yes. Okay. Yeah, that's where I'm at. Would you like me to go first?
Please.
Okay. So I know that we've had this whole discussion. I think 10th place is Erica. I think.
Okay, interesting.
Even if she is literally immune next week, she is in a worse spot than other people.
I agree with that.
So I don't think. I mean, I also think that there is still logic, which I will die on this hill of her not smashing the thing. And if she doesn't, again, still in a bad spot, still vulnerable.
Like if Erica survives next week, she's probably going to be my number 11. You know, like I agree with you there. Like,
if Erica survives, if Erica takes immunity and then doesn't get voted out, I think she's in like a mid position. But then if she doesn't smash the thing and then doesn't get voted out, then she's in like top quarter.
Yeah. Because I think what like the benefit of early merge is like if you're on the hot seat and you survive, everyone kind of moves on for a couple days.
Yeah, like, people will move on. Yeah, it's like, we missed the chance. Like, well,
yeah, let's get somebody else.
Something else will happen at camp, right? Someone else will say something mean or like.
Yeah. And she's not like, by my understanding, like seems very kind, easygoing. Like I don't think there's anything like particularly offensive about her.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's a good point.
I'm rooting for you.
I actually have Nasir at number 10.
Wow, interesting.
Which is upsetting, but
he has an idol.
He does have an idol. I don't know if he will play it.
That's true.
But I also really don't know who he's allied with. He's allied with like Xander verbally, but Xander doesn't seem to have a ton of pull. So I'm also Nasir started this episode with being like Luvu final 6, and everyone is like, dude, no.
Who are you? Yeah,
which is damn, this is a Wendy's. Like, so he just seems a bit unaware of his standing with his current tribe, which is why I am nervous for him. But I love him, and I will be distraught if he goes home.
I would throw up if he.
I would vomit.
I would vomit. Yeah. Man, I.
No, this is big.
It's a good point. I'm sticking by my guns. I can't. I mean, we've already.
Please.
I'm not editing it. I'm not going back and changing my opinions because I think he's fine. But like, wow, man, you're right. He could just not play his idol, and that would break my heart.
It would be so bad. But no, you are. This is written in stone. So
this is set in stone. Yeah, we're right about everything. Actually, literally, we can't be because we disagreed, but. One of us is right about it. Combined, we are right.
You will get a text message at some point between the 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. hour next Wednesday.
Yeah, by someone that's mad on the internet, but whatever. Who's your number 11?
He's stalling. My number 11 is Evie, which means that my number 12 is Sydney. So
interesting.
A couple reasons here. Evie and Sydney. So Danny like called out kind of Evie for the counter girls alliance.
Yeah.
Which is what everyone is calling it. So that's why I have Evie and Sydney there. Additionally, Evie does not have any connections with anybody who is safe at the moment. Evie is, I think, close with Liana, but Liana, so that if Evie is pulled in by this new alliance that Liana is in, I think Evie is safe. What I am concerned about with Sydney is that this Luvu tribe wants to break up. Like they are all
That's
ready
a good point. Right. Right.
Sydney, I think, is very close with Danny and Deshawn, but I think at this point, that doesn't so much matter anymore. I think Sydney and Evie are both pretty good in challenges. So I think there's a chance that one of them could be safe. But I think just a combination of, Evie being a bit on the outside and Sydney being like a part of this cracked tribe that wants to break up, and with the assumption that there is a semi-girl's opinion, I think one of them is in big trouble. And the two of them are singled out because I think that we smash a thing.
Yeah. This is completely a guess. I don't know if the Counter Women's Alliance is necessarily to get out a woman. I think it's more to be safe. It's to find some straws to create a group, to create an alliance, to feel safe. And so if they have this Counter Women's Alliance, they could just vote out another man, but they just want some sort of power structure to rally around. And,
I'm with that. And also, it's not really, this is like Danny and Deshawn's opinion. Like, I don't really know who else is bought into this, if anyone.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's just a thing that it's like, an opinion that we're getting so that we have some context of where Danny is.
Yeah.
I also think part of that also is like we haven't really seen. I mean, there's always a lot going on at the merge, and we didn't really get to see Evie or Sydney really interact with that because Erica was on an island with a thing and Jeff. So I mean, I guess like I see your logic. I think those are good points. I don't know if, obviously I don't agree because I put other people lower, but like, I don't know. I still think that they are capable enough of working their way into a group. And I guess, going back to your worst of the people that aren't going to be immune, it makes sense.
Yeah. So who do you think is going to go home?
So my 11th place is Liana, and my 12th place is Xander.
I definitely in trouble.
I definitely bought into the memes of Xander being screwed, which is fine.
I think that's also kind of fair. Like Xander has been in a tough position, probably the toughest position of anybody on the show for the
anybody ever, forever
in the history of Survivor.
Yeah. Liana, I think getting her spot blown up by Chantel in front of Tiffany is really, 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 really bad.
Really bad.
Not just because it's like a I didn't trust Tiffany enough to tell her, but it's also you did also trust somebody else more than me.
Yeah.
Like, it's not your power just being blown up. It is your alliances being blown up.
It's not like she told no one. Right. She told someone else.
Right. It wasn't like Xander lying about it just to one person. It's like, oh yeah, I'm just completely not on the same side as Liana is.
Yeah.
I think that again, her advantage is very, very strong. But if your spot is blown up by someone as wild card of a person as Tiffany is, you could get blindsided. And I think I don't know, it just doesn't feel good for her. It feels like it's so easy for her to get blindsided. I guess another thing that I will say that she has is she does know that her spot was blown up. It's not like Chantel went to Tiffany and was like, "Oh, she has an idol and we're best friends. Screw you." I guess it's really, maybe I should have put Tiffany higher because people do seem to just be at the whims of Tiffany. It's like Tiffany wants this person out.
Weirdly, it's
weirdly, it's cool.
What's especially frustrating about the Shan thing is I don't think Shan realized. It's kind of like the Wentworth blowing up Lauren O'Connell's idol. I think she just said it. I don't think she meant to do that. I don't think she realized. Like,
yeah, no, I agree. Right.
Because like we didn't get a confessional of Shan being like, oopsie. So that's like, I don't know if that's worse, but that's also like,
yeah, I don't know.
How trustworthy of an alliance member do I have?
It just feels like a bad spot for her.
Yeah.
And so that means last place is Xander because Liana wants to steal his idol.
Yeah, that's not great for him.
Which is not good. Someone actually said that's really, really, really bad.
Some would say.
Because if you think that you're going to be safe at Tribal because of your idol and then you don't have one, not really a good spot to be in.
Yeah.
And if Liana is stealing your idol, Liana's not going to be like, oh, I'm going to steal his idol, but he can stay in the game. If you're getting someone out with that advantage, if you're getting someone's idol, you just want to remove them from the game so you don't have an enemy targeting.
Oh, absolutely. It's like the whole, Jason and Island of the Idols situation where it was like, they stole his vote and bopped him. Like, you've got to, like, if you're going to do something like that, because then if you don't vote him out, Xander comes back and is like, what the F?
Oh, well, it's that, and it's also like you're using this to guarantee, like, kind of like an idol nullifier to get someone out. Like, you're not going to, like, take Xander's idol and then try to, like, flush out another idol at the same time, right?
Yeah.
Well, I guess you could, but, like, that could backfire.
Incredible. If that works, it seems incredibly hard to do.
Yeah, I just don't think that that's a risk that is necessary at all in this point of the game for anybody.
Yeah,
so
that's not worth it. And also, if I had an idol and someone else's got stolen, I would think I was even more safe. Because it's like, well, they're gonna get that person instead.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm gonna double down on a point that I was thinking about earlier that I just
double down, Robert.
If Erica doesn't choose to smash the thing, then the 6 people that she did not take the immunity from are like, oh, if we're saying that you can buy good grace with people for 1 vote, that might be the vote that she needs. So Erica's fine.
Erica's number 1 for Robert.
Erica's number 1 now.
Move everything.
Impossible.
Also, Erica is on your fantasy team, which I actually forgot about.
I forgot everybody on my fantasy team but JD.
Well, half of them are gone, so you don't.
Oh, that sucks. I was good for a little bit.
I know. I forgot about mine too. And you have Ricard, Erica, and Deshawn, so not bad.
Oh, so I have my team's. It's final 3. I'm good.
You have the final 3.
I have the final 3. Ricard, Deshawn, Erica.
The only person I've lost is Eric, and Phil has lost Sarah and David.
Why do I always do so poorly? What is this? You guys rig it against me. You guys want me.
We absolutely do. There's like no rhyme or reason because we're all just like, this person seems smart.
I think Fred's funny.
Yes, exactly. Okay, last but certainly not least, at this point, who is winning? Last time you that for 5 minutes.
All right. The person who I think has the best chance of winning, dude. I've been hearing whispers of Tiffany.
Whispers of
Tiffany.
Of desire. Weaponized Pinata, who I'm really only adding because that name is so good, says Deshawn. I think Deshawn's got a good shot. And I was so out on Deshawn during the preseason, but I am a big fan now.
Deshawn has a good shot. I think Tiffany has a good shot. I think Evie has a good shot.
Yeah.
Liana has a good shot.
Assuming she survives.
Who's your winner pick? I'm stalling for 10 seconds.
Oh, don't ask me. I do this every time.
Don't ask you. Oh my God. You do this every time. Someone's going to turn around on you eventually.
I think today, Deshawn could win. I think if Shan gets there, Shan could win. I think if Liana gets there.
I think if Shan and Ricard get there, they win, but I'm really scared.
Yeah. I think Ricard, someone here says Nasir. I think like Nasir, he's got the story. I don't know if he has the allies. Like
I think he gets voted out like a Sebastian.
Yeah.
Thing. I'm gonna say Deshawn for now. That's the one that's speaking to me the most.
Yeah. Also a potential Danny as well. I like Danny, but he has to get past his gigantic muscles, which is unfair to him.
How dare he?
Robert, any closing soapbox?
No, I've used up all my soapbox time earlier. If I had anything else, it would have been said in the beginning of the episode. So
I think you did a great job, and I am excited for the comments. I'm excited to have a slightly dissenting opinion. I'm
excited for people to yell at me in the comments. That's okay. I knew what I was getting myself into.
I was really pumped. I haven't gotten I knew like after this podcast, I was like, we're gonna get some saucy comments. So I gave a look. I haven't had a good insult in a while, and someone told me to stop playing with my hair. And let me tell you, that's not happening. It's so subconscious. I don't even know what I do.
Oh, very cool. I hope someone.
I know. It's like, ooh.
I want to say I hope someone insults me, but I kind of don't at all. So
no, maybe someone will compliment the extremely cool hexagons that are behind your head.
Yeah, I don't have my app open to change them.
So. Oh yeah, do it before we finish.
Okay, look, they're gonna do a different thing.
Okay, and meanwhile, make sure to follow us on Instagram on at Survivor Specialist, and on Twitter, Survivor Specialist without any of the vowels in Specialist. Ooh, how pretty!
They're turning off and on. Wow,
also,
they're changing.
If you want to buy these things on Robert's wall,
yeah, if Nanoleaf, if you want to sponsor us, I will shill your product any day of the week. So
absolutely, thank you, Nanoleaf.
Thanks, Nanoleaf.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Have a great weekend. Robert, thank you so much for coming on. I'm sure you'll be back a couple more times throughout the season. We will be back at a normal hour, 9 p.m. Eastern, directly after the episode on Wednesday. Contrary to what Phil says, he is going to be joining me on Wednesday.
He'll have a good time.
He'll be fine. Everyone's fine. Robert, thank you so much. We love you dearly.
Thank you, Alexa.
Bye, everyone.